Chair of that. I'm on that as well as others from Saskatchewan, and Bill has been very, very much involved. So it's my pleasure to be introducing to you then President Bill Karsten, who is a councillor in Halifax Regional Municipality. He was elected in 2004 and has been re-elected 3 times. So congratulations on that. He brings great commitment to community building, and he was elected 3rd Vice President for FCM and now is the President of FCM. And so, President Karsten, welcome to Saskatchewan. I know you've been involved with many meetings here, and we appreciate your time and your interest, and we look forward to hearing from you. Please welcome Bill Karsten. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gordon. So, some of the comments you've made, Gordon, I'm going to have to rewrite my speech now, okay? So, but good morning, SUMA. Wow. Wow, you've had your break, you've mingled, you've done workshops, it's a great conference. I said good morning, SUMA. Good morning. Excellent. Much, much better. So I do want to thank you so very, very much, Gordon, for your comments. And I want to thank each and every one of you for giving me such a warm welcome over these last 2 days I've been here with you. I actually, wow, I thought last night somebody was comparing how friendly folks are in Saskatchewan, and I said, wow, I thought Nova Scotians were friendly, you know? You've given me a great warm welcome, and for that I thank you. As we always do at FCM, I do want to take this opportunity to let us remind ourselves that we are meeting today on Treaty 4 territory. My pleasure to be here with you all today. And I have to say that it's an incredible honor and a privilege, and actually very humbling, to serve in the role of FCM President. I get to connect with local leaders in their hometowns throughout the country, to listen to their ideas, to their concerns and aspirations, and how local leaders like all of you are in fact building better lives for the residents we serve. As the order of government closest to daily life, we all know that we're right on the front lines of people's everyday hopes and their challenges. And that's why FCM is so very pleased to work with SUMA. I'm proud also to say that FCM members represent more than 85% of Saskatchewan's population. And we're so pleased that, as Gordon alluded to, we have a strong contingent of FCM board members and committee members from this province, like SUMA President Gordon Barnhart, and Saskatchewan Councillor and my friend Darren Hill, who serves as FCM's 3rd Vice President, and Yorkton Councillor Randy Golden, who chairs our Western Economic Solutions Task Force that Gordon referenced and that I will be speaking to you about in the next few minutes. Also want to recognize Hilary Gulf, Maren Lowen, Joel Murray, Cheryl Spence, who are also board or committee members from your province, representing you on the FCM board. Folks, would you join me in giving all of those folks a big round of applause? And I do want to take this opportunity as well, because I look to my right and I see Gordon again. Leadership is so much part of what we try to do at FCM. And Gordon, thank you for your leadership as well in serving on one of our international programs. I know that's exciting work and great benefit to the country. So thank you for that. Let me tell you, folks, the names of the folks that I've mentioned are doing a heck of a job bringing Saskatchewan issues and the local voice to the federal table. So, where are we? My friends, we're now just over a week into the return of Parliament. As you know, we now work with a minority government in Ottawa. And minority governments can, in fact, we've seen it in past occasions, can, in fact, present new challenges. But we don't look at the challenges and the concerns and the problems, because we also look at minority governments having the opportunity to create new opportunities, ones that we at FCM are well placed to seize. The fact is, in a minority government, parties and governments are actually, believe it or not, more motivated than ever to build the bridges and deliver practical results. And delivering practical results is what municipal leaders do, you people in this room, on a daily basis. Recent polling that we conducted through Abacus Polling shows that Canadians overwhelmingly trust their local leaders. They trust them, they trust us to understand their challenges and to deliver local solutions that work. We're the folks in this room, we're the ones that build the roads and bridges that get people to where they need to go. We build the water systems and the rec centers that make our communities more livable and sustainable. We're on the front lines of these vital services and programs that deliver prosperity and raise people's quality of life. And we all know, we know it far too well, that we do it with just a fraction of every tax dollar. And we've learned, because that's the position we've been put in, we've learned to be extremely efficient and effective with the funds that we do have. Because we are, my friends, best suited as local leaders to building Canada's futures. And to help get there, FCM has worked with federal governments of all stripes to secure historic gains for municipalities, from unprecedented investments in infrastructure, housing, and broadband internet access, to new tools and support for small communities, to, as Gordon referenced, doubling the gas tax fund payments to municipalities in Saskatchewan and across the country last year, which brought in for Saskatchewan an extra $61 million in funds for your communities. Absolutely. Gordon referenced that we've been meeting with some of you one-on-one, and I encourage you in the hallways, at reception tonight, if you need a minute, want a minute, take time to talk to me. One of the most overlying things that people do ask is, well, that doubling of the gas tax, what's FCM's position? Where are we with that? We have said through the election campaign, our call to all federal leaders were to double the gas tax permanently. We have not lost sight of that, but a caveat to that, and it resonates with the people in this room, I know, because I've talked to many of you, is that making sure that the infrastructure funds that flow, regardless of the amount of money, is done direct and predictable so that you have choices in how that money is spent. And that is what we are working towards on a daily basis in Ottawa. Absolutely. One of our key motivators is just that. So, as this Parliament kicks into high gear, our message is really very clear. It's time to work together with Canada's municipal leaders. Because when Ottawa invests in local governments deliver for Canadians. Of course, with MPs back in Ottawa, the upcoming federal budget is top of mind for party leaders. And make no mistake, it's top of mind for FCM as well. Budget 2020 is a key opportunity for this government to show it's ready to get more done for Canadians by working with local leaders to do what? To deliver results on the ground in Saskatchewan. FCM is already working hard to shape this budget, just as we've helped shape federal budgets in previous years. In November, and if you haven't had the occasion to look at it, I encourage you to go www.fcm.ca and just Google Building Better Lives Together. This is our comprehensive roadmap for the first 100 days of Parliament, including this first budget. We have laid out concrete next steps the government can take to work with local leaders to build better lives. Everything from ensuring federal infrastructure investments reach municipalities as intended. Let me repeat that again. To ensure that federal infrastructure investments reach municipalities as intended, to permanently funding the public transit fund, and making housing more affordable. From protecting communities from extreme new weather events, to championing smaller communities, which starts by making rural internet and last-mile internet connections so much better, to make that internet connection access a reality. Since releasing our roadmap, we've been busy bringing these priorities to every member of Parliament, to every party. We've brought them to cabinet ministers, to opposition leaders, and yes, to the Prime Minister's office itself. And in the weeks ahead, we'll double down by releasing our pre-budget submission. We'll zero in on the most urgent recommendations for Budget 2020 to ensure this minority government works for you and your residents. So stay tuned for that and for ways you can help spread the word. From coast to coast to coast, and it was so interesting for me to sit in one of the tables this morning and hear your president allude to the fact that this is time for SUMA to be united. This is time for SARM to be united. This is time for all of our provincial associations across Canada to be united. Because from coast to coast to coast, we need municipal leaders to be united and together with FCM, and we're ready to continue moving forward. In the weeks and months to come, we'll be urging our federal counterparts to come together as well, because that's how we can continue to build better lives. Of course, the federal budget and building lives better together is not the only thing on FCM's plate these days. We are also determined and committed to help you, our members in Saskatchewan, and all Western communities on the front lines of economic uncertainty. I know, I've talked to some of you, and I feel it in this room, that is an urgent and top priority for you today. Every day, you see people in your communities losing their livelihoods. Every day, you see people in your communities losing their homes and their hopes for the future. We can't take that away from them, and we won't. The impacts of this downturn have touched all of us. And as your national voice, I want you to know that FCM does understand and does know what you're facing, and we are here to support. Thank you. That's why we have struck the Western Economic Solutions Task Force. We have policy people that literally sat in a room and listened to your cry, your plea, to be the bridge to connect your concerns to the federal government. And this has just snowballed to the degree that this task force has now met on many occasions by teleconference, have met certainly as a face-to-face meeting in Ottawa, and we'll meet again next Monday in Leduc, Edmonton. This task force unites local leaders from Western communities of all sizes. It represents literally hundreds of rural and urban communities across Western Canada. We are leading an important conversation with the federal government to find solutions to struggling communities. And actually, what we are doing through West exactly mirrors what Paul Wells was talking about this morning. The 4 pillars that he mentioned are exactly keenly lined up and are connected to what we're doing at West. We're ensuring that Western communities are heard at the federal level. And as mentioned earlier, West is chaired by Councillor and my friend Randy Golden, Councillor in Yorkton, who is so very, very well suited and perfect for this job of chairing. So Randy, thank you so much. Divert from script, okay? I called Randy, and I said this in a room just down the hall, that from the progress we're making so far and some of the keen ideas that I know are deliverable, and I feel it within my heart, that somebody asked this morning if the federal government is listening. I want to report to you that we believe, because of their engagement and their almost desire to see some wins for them, but also for you, that I really truly believe that this is an opportunity that we need to seize. And I said in the room down the hall that asking Randy and appointing Randy as chair of this West Task Force is probably only the second best thing I've done to marrying my wife. So pretty good choice. But she's not the only Saskatchewan voice either. On the task force, we do have President Gordon Barnhart, as is Ray Orb. Ray would stand, not everybody in the room may know you, as president of SARM. Regina Mayor Michael Fougere, if Michael's in the room, just acknowledge, maybe he's had to go. Saskatchewan Mayor Charlie Clark, if you're in the room, thank you so much for the work you're doing on this incredible task force as well. As is our Vice President, third Vice President, Darren Hill, and Saskatoon Councillor. Next Monday, I've already mentioned we're going to meet, and we're bringing key federal decision makers to the table. And that is what gives me hope that they are listening, because they are more than willing to send key decision makers to this meeting in Alberta. What we're looking to do is not one fix. We're looking at short-term, medium-term, and long-term solutions to all of the concerns we're hearing from you, our members. We're focused on solutions that the federal government, as well as municipalities across the country, can adapt, share on, and build. Because when you think about it, just think about your last month on your council. When you think about it, municipal leaders are problem solvers. That's what we do. That's who we are. So as frontline governments, we work pragmatically across partisan lines to get results every single day. That's how we're approaching the challenge that's before us. We really, my friends, do have a wonderful country, and that was alluded to yesterday as well. And all of us have a stake in building a strong and united Canada. My friends, whether we're shaping the next budget or supporting Western communities, our success is rooted at FCM and associations like SUMA in a strong and united voice. Like SUMA, FCM is stronger when its members work together. And together with our members, we've secured, as I said earlier, unprecedented tools and influence for municipalities of all sizes. Now is the moment to take our federal municipal partnership to the next level, to build on our progress and to make it permanent. But You have a role. We need your help. One way you can help, again, it was mentioned this morning, is by joining us at the FCM Annual Conference and Trade Show, June 4th to 7th. Sounds like a paid commercial, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart that those acts do make a difference. With more than 2,000 local leaders on hand, as well as federal party leaders, this is our chance to flex our municipal muscle. It's our chance to showcase local leadership and how local leaders deliver for Canadians. I'm unabashed to also say that another way you can help is renew your FCM membership. And if you haven't already done so, and if you're not a member, seriously do consider joining the FCM family, because our strength comes in being united and being together. By now, you should have already received your membership packages in the mail. I've alluded to our influence. We believe that our influence and our reach on Parliament Hill has never been stronger. The federal government knows that FCM represents a strong and united voice. It's how we get results, and we need to keep that voice strong. Now more than ever, Canada looks to FCM members to drive smart local solutions to big national challenges. From economic growth in the West and across Canada to climate change to public safety. So colleagues, let's seize this opportunity to build on the gains we've made together. And let's make local leaders an empowered new norm. You know, whether you're from a town here in Saskatchewan, and it could be the city of Saskatoon, or anywhere in Saskatchewan, or a city in Nova Scotia like myself, Canadians trust their local governments to make their lives better. At a time when big politics can seem so distant from people's hopes and challenges and dreams, what better way to empower Canadians than to empower the governments closest to their lives? Because make no mistake about it, this country's future, Saskatchewan's future, lies in its cities and communities. It lies where Canadians live, work, and raise their families. So let's continue working together to strengthen the federal-municipal partnership and to ensure local leaders have the right tools to get more done. Because with modern tools and a seat at the table, we can and will deliver the country Canadians deserve. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Karsten. This gentleman is doing all of this on a volunteer basis, and the traveling in this job is huge. Just to give you an example, just before Christmas, I was in a meeting in Edmonton with the Rural Municipals Association of Alberta, and President Karsten was there as well, representing FCM and putting out a few fires and all of those sorts of things. That was in the place of a trip that he'd planned with his wife to go to South Africa. And he phoned his wife and said, "I'm sorry, we have to cancel that because I'm heading on FCM business to Edmonton." And so we say a huge thank you to you for all of the work you do for us all across Canada. Bill, you're a tremendous president, and thank you so much. Bill mentioned that 85% of us in Saskatchewan belong to FCM, and I think proportionately we are the highest proportion in Canada belonging to FCM, but that still means that we have 15% who are not members. So if any of you are receiving a bill from FCM and the memberships are relatively small, I hope that you will seriously consider as council making a contribution and becoming members of FCM. So President Karsten, thank you again. Your comments were very relevant, I think, to our interests here, and we say a huge thank you. One more applause for Bill Karsten. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you our next speaker. I'll call up onto the stage Ryan Miley. And as you will see him coming up, you will notice that he has been wounded. I haven't asked him yet what the issue is, but you'll notice it's a left wing, so that should be okay. Sorry. I'm nonpartisan. I shouldn't have said that, right? But it's my pleasure, Mr. Miley, to welcome you here to SUMA. This is the second year in a row that you've consented to come and meet with us and share your ideas. You're very well aware that 82% of the population is represented right here in this room, and we look forward to your remarks. And I also want to compliment you on your colleague Trent Wotherspoon, who is the critic for government relations and keeps in touch with us as well. So pass on our thanks to him as well. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Ryan Miley, Leader of the Opposition.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Barnhart, for the warm welcome and a little bit of ribbing. That's just fine. I've been getting a bit of that this last few days. Usually I can blend in at this conference a bit, but I feel like I've been sticking out like a sore thumb. To just give you the background, what did really happen, I was teaching my son to ski over Christmas, and sometimes you got to teach them what not to do. And I picked a fight with a ski hill. People keep asking me how the other guy looks. I guess the answer is majestic. But the best advice I've had, and I appreciate all the helpful folks who've said that now that there's no STC, this will help me get around the province. Again, thank you to Dr. Barnhart. Thanks to all the mayors and councillors, the leadership of SUMA, for the work you do as the voice of Saskatchewan's hometowns. I want to recognize, of course, Ray Orbis here as well from SARM, and we've got some First Nations leadership here as well. I'm really pleased to see the recognition of the Sigijiwasik program with town of Battleford, North Battleford, and the communities, First Nations of Moosomin, Soto, Little Pine, Sweetgrass, and Lucky Man. It's a really unique model of working together, and one that will be honored later today with the 2019 Municipal Award. So congratulations to all those involved in that really important effort. Absolutely. So along with a thumbs up to those folks, I want to give a thumbs up to my official opposition colleagues. Trent Wotherspoon has already been mentioned, our municipal affairs critic, who is very keen to be meeting and working alongside municipal leaders throughout the province. We're also joined today by David Forbes, the MLA for Saskatoon Centre, by Nicole Rancourt from Prince Albert Northcote, Kathy Sproul from Saskatoon Nutana, Warren McCall for Regina Elphinstone Centre, Carla Beck for Regina Lakeview, Jens Peterson from Regina Northeast, and Buckley Belanger from Athabasca. And really appreciate getting to work alongside this team. I also recognize that there are lots of folks from the government side in the room today as well, and I appreciate you sticking around for this part of the talk. Dawn, keep the heckles to a minimum, would you please? Okay. I also want to recognize somebody else who's here today, and that's Isidore Desjardins, who many of you probably won't have met yet, but hopefully you will today. Isidore is a counselor from Buffalo Narrows. And Isidore has a pretty special story. On November 24th of 2019, he was at home in Buffalo when he heard someone outside crying for help. He went out and he saw Wayne Herman, a young man who had fallen through the ice in the lake and who was struggling. And Wayne had been out searching for his brother who hadn't come back from a trip earlier that day on the same lake. Didn't take long for Isidore to realize he needed to act quickly. With great risk to his own life, he went out as far as he could on the ice, and then he used a ladder to reach out to Wayne, who was now hypothermic and in shock, but who was able to grab hold of the ladder and be pulled to safety. It took great effort and courage to do what Isidore did that night, and his quick timing and bravery His quick thinking and bravery saved Wayne's life. Unfortunately, absolutely. Yeah, Isidore, they're clapping for you. Could you take your feet and just be recognized? Thank you so much. Fortunately, Wayne's brother was found later that day, and sadly, he had not been so lucky, and he didn't survive. The parents and family were incredibly heartbroken to have lost one of their children, but if it weren't for Isidore, they would have lost 2 sons that evening. Isidore is a hero, and we're so glad he's here to be honored and recognized today. And Isidore couldn't have saved Wayne if he didn't know the community, if he didn't know the lake, if he didn't know that that was out of ordinary what he was hearing, if he didn't know how to use the ladder and do so in a way that got Wayne to safety but didn't result in Isidore falling through the ice himself as well. And so I think it's no coincidence that Isidore is a counselor in Buffalo Narrows, because it's that combination of local knowledge and dedication to community service that we see all the time in the leadership of Saskatchewan's hometowns. Not everyone is pulling people out of the lake, but everyone's pulling far more than their weight. Pulling all-nighters before a crucial budget discussion at council, pulling another batch of cookies out of the oven for the school bake sale, pulling yourself out of the house for the 3rd community event on a Saturday when you'd like to spend some time at home, but instead you're the first ones to arrive, the last to leave. You're cleaning up, you're stacking chairs, because it's about service. It's about putting people first. It's about community. You step up because that's the kind of place, the kind of town, the kind of village, the kind of city, the kind of province that you want to live in. And because you have a vision for your hometown and the neighbors you share it with. And there's just no way that our view from the legislature can see anywhere close to the level of local detail that you can. But the province can and must be a present and active partner in addressing the real challenges faced by Saskatchewan's hometowns. You deserve a partner. Absolutely. You deserve a partner in the province that knows how important your service is to the life of the entire province. A partner that will facilitate and support regional partnerships between urban municipalities, RMs, and First Nations on key services like recreation, waste management, water, police. A partner that will leave federal money on the table. Always needs leaders that are willing to push back against Ottawa when necessary. And New Democrats have always done just that. But we can't have a provincial government that blocks investments in innovation, in transit, in recreation, just for partisan reasons. We need a partner that commits to a no-surprises approach, so that we don't see another situation like the 2017 budget, with cuts to grant ST to construction, which has outweighed any increases in revenue sharing. And you know what? I'll take this moment. It doesn't make any sense for one level of government in the same province to be taxing another level of government. And that's why our commitment, an NDP government, will exempt municipalities from the PST that you're now paying on construction labor. And we'll do that because that's what we've heard from you. And I do want to give some special acknowledgement to Mayor Dion and the council in Prince Albert who have shown great leadership pushing on this issue. We've heard this from you, and our hometowns deserve a partner that listens. A partner ready to make a real investment in our communities, not kick our challenges of aging infrastructure or the opportunities of building growth down the line for the next generation to deal with. You need a partner that treats you with the same respect the year after an election that they did the year before an election. We've heard from so many of you, the province is asking you to deliver more and more of the services, but downloading more and more of the responsibilities and costs without the needed funding attached. You're dealing with new standards for landfills and water treatment without the support to meet them. Taking on the challenges of cannabis without the promised 25% of the excise tax, taking on affordable and social housing, not because it's in your line of duty, but because you feel the pressing need and you can't walk away. And we know that cities and towns are dealing, and villages are dealing with the scourge of crystal meth in every corner of this province, with the challenges that poses in crime, in mental health, on emergency services, and on the lives of our youth. And you should be part of those discussions. You should be leading from your experience. And you have been stepping up to do just that. It was great to see the recommendations for dealing with the crystal meth crisis in the province released yesterday in Saskatoon. Recommendations that we support, and recommendations that were developed because of your leadership that said simply, we can't wait for the province to act. With your frontline experience, you should be leading the charge, but you shouldn't be left holding the bag. You can only stretch so far, and too often you're left facing impossible choices. Do you cut back on services that are already strained to the breaking point? Do you reduce spending on infrastructure that's already in critical condition? Do you raise property taxes again? I know that these are the choices that keep many of you awake at night. So I want to say clearly that we are committed to being a partner that listens, that works alongside municipalities to solve those dilemmas and build a better quality of life for the people of Saskatchewan. Now, I mentioned those tough economic choices that are keeping you up at night. And we're hearing more and more that it's not just mayors and councillors that are losing sleep, who are stressed about how they're going to pay for the things that they need. It's the 52% of Saskatchewan households who couldn't cover $200 in added expense at the end of the month. It's the rising number of people who can't keep up on their power bills or their property taxes. It's the rising number of people who are filing for bankruptcy, more here than anywhere in the country. People are worried. People are stressed about what's happening with the economy. They're stressed about what's happening in our classrooms and our hospitals. You know, since 2016, there are over 7,000 more kids in Saskatchewan classrooms. But there's not a single dollar more. There's not a single dollar more to meet their needs. More kids, those classrooms are more crowded, they're also more complex. More kids with special needs, more kids who are learning English as a new language, more kids who are struggling with mental health challenges, or who are coming to school hungry. Parents and teachers are stressed to the breaking point, worried about the future for the kids in their care, which of course is the future for all of us, is the future for our province. And when it comes to healthcare, wait times have continued to increase in our emergency rooms. Hallway medicine has become the norm as patients wait hours and hours or even days in a bed in a hallway. It's become so commonplace that many of our hospitals have just put numbers up in the hallways because they're now treating them as rooms. We have cuts that are leading to losses in acute care services in communities like Priestville, doctor shortages in communities like Fort Capel, and many others throughout the province. Of course, there's incredible pressure when it comes to long-term care, with nowhere near the staff and supports to help seniors to age in dignity in their own hometown. When we talk about building sustainable hometowns, the theme of this conference, when we talk about doing just that, these services are key, and people are right to be concerned, especially at a time when the economy has them less and less certain about the road ahead and how we'll fund these services. More people are out of work. Employment insurance claims are up 11%. Retail sales are down 2.2%, among the worst in the country. Investing in building construction has dropped by 10%, with residential construction down by 18%. Regina, standing right here today, it has the highest crime severity index in the country, directly related to these economic troubles, and many other communities aren't far behind. But of course, I don't have to tell you these numbers. You're living them. You're the ones who are telling us all the time just how local economies are struggling. And we know that you're working hard to turn that around, but we also know that this slowdown has been worsened by choices at the provincial level. And it's time that we change our approach. We can point fingers elsewhere all we want. We can hope for political wins and commodity prices to change. We also have to do what's available to us, what's in our power. At a time when the province is facing sustained economic challenges, we need a provincial government that will do what it takes, that will work alongside municipal leaders to pull us out of the muck and chart a course to solid ground. We need a vision and a plan to grow our economy by investing in people, by pursuing new markets, and by supporting Saskatchewan companies and workers. Now, we're looking forward to sharing our vision document with you in the next coming days, but the foundation of that vision is already clearly written. It starts with putting people first. We build up our economy by funding healthcare, by seeking out new markets, some of those markets at home, as the Nokomis Town Council has seen and made possible with local craft beer going from plants to pint, and the profit in the Saskatchewan. There are huge opportunities for us in value add, including meeting the growing demand around the world for plant-based proteins. And of course, seeking out new markets for export, diversifying our demand, acceptable to changes in one or two countries, and making sure we have the infrastructure in place to get Saskatchewan agriculture, mining, and energy products to market. By leading in innovation, we can lead the way as well, and that includes leading on renewables, on clean tech, not running away from growing new industries like solar power, but embracing them and the opportunities that they present. Our Renew Saskatchewan plan would do just that, by kickstarting the clean energy movement in the province, by removing the upfront cost barriers keeping people from investing in clean energy solutions. Work with homeowners, farmers, business owners, and municipalities to assess where the greatest savings are, whether it's a solar installation on the community rink or new windows and a new efficient furnace on the town hall. And then we cover that cost up front to be paid back over time with the savings through on-bill financing. By doing this, we can dramatically reduce the share of your budget that's going to heat and power, or you can even be making money as you make power and sell it back to the grid. It means lower bills for your community, for residents in your communities, and it means thousands of new jobs in every part of the province. Jobs with Saskatchewan companies, jobs filled by Saskatchewan workers. Because you know what I'm tired of seeing? When we build a new power plant, when a new hospital is built and the roof leaks, when we build a bypass, that money is going to companies that aren't even from this country. I think when we build our hospitals and our schools and our roads with our own so with and our companies. When we do that, when we get that right, when we invest in people, when we build up, we build an economy that's more resilient, more able to handle the tough times, but also more ready to take full advantage when times are better. And as we build that plan for a more resilient economy for the people of Saskatchewan, we want to hear from you. Now, earlier, Dr. Barnhart and I both introduced for municipal relations. I think he probably didn't need to most of you, though, because there's nothing traveling around the province, getting out everywhere. He do the rest of our team. And we are keen and eager to hear your ideas and your concerns, to hear what an economic vision to address this in your community would look like. And today, more than ever, we need leaders that broadly, and then will roll up their sleeves and get to what's in to get done. So in closing, our official opposition team has been hard at work building towards a government that puts people first, with accessible, high-quality healthcare and education everywhere in the province, stable, predictable funding for our hometowns, an economy that's built to last for the long term, that looks beyond the next budget or the next election to the next generation. And I'm confident, I fully believe that Saskatchewan's best days are ahead of us. The Premier acknowledged it, so I will as well. It is an election year. And you know that pretty well, because it's an election year for you as well, isn't it? And I got to say, I do think that wasn't the best move, to have those so close together. Municipal politics matters, and it deserves more attention than it can possibly get a couple of weeks after a provincial election. It's important. And I know many of you will be running against this year, and I'm thrilled that you'll continue your leadership. I thank you for your service. I also urge you to be looking around your community and encouraging them to get involved. Be ready to move on. I hope that you'll consider seeking a nomination and running provincial. I don't care who you run for. Only be better served by more people with the experience of local leadership. It's a moment in Saskatchewan that we put people first. In the follow, please work alongside. No one knows what's happening. You're the ones that go that extra mile, often spectacular and passion, which does bring me. I want to let him know and let all of you know that award for his bravery. And to thank him on behalf of all of Saskatchewan people, and to thank all of you on behalf of Saskatchewan people for all that you give to your communities. I want to thank you for your time today. I look forward to speaking with as many during the convention days and weeks and months ahead. Thanks so much.
Mr. Miley, thank you so much for accepting my sense of humor, first off. As Danny knows as a comedian, and I'm certainly not a comedian, but you have to sometimes be careful, but I'm glad you didn't take offense, so thank you. I wouldn't resist that one. So we also want to thank you very much for being here today, for outlining some of the platform that you will be exhibiting to the province in the coming election. Yes, we are all very much aware of the coming election, and you mentioned the PST on construction for municipal projects. I mentioned this publicly yesterday to the Premier, and I say publicly to you today, and we're nonpartisan. It's whichever party forms government, we'll hold your feet to the fire on that one because that is so important to us. I also mentioned yesterday, and it's so important, Mr. Miley, for us to know that that's in case of fire, I guess. I'm not sure. Danny, are you done? No, I'm not done. I just wanted to say, Mr. Miley, that yesterday I mentioned to the Premier and I mentioned to you as well, infrastructure. All of the communities in this room are talking about sewer, water, lagoons, landfills, and that is huge as well. So I say to you, thank you so much for being here today. You've honored us with your presence, and we look forward to conversation in the weeks and months to come. Thank you so much. And now I'll turn the podium back to Danny, who has been working all morning on preparing lunch. I think lunch is next, but Danny, please.
Thanks. Good job. The left wing was a good one, buddy. Actually, now because Ryan went overtime, there will be no lunch. Just famine. Actually, we have one more order of business, very, very brief. I want to introduce the Honorable Don Morgan, Minister responsible for SaskTel, and he has just a very quick greeting to bring us, and then we'll head into lunchtime. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Minister. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Standing between lunch and this speech is going to shorten it right up. So good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here on behalf of SaskTel and the Government of Saskatchewan. Yesterday was a lot like me speaking after the Pope. When I came in here and I saw speaking after Ryan Miley, I sort of questioned Laurie's wisdom. As the voice of Saskatchewan's hometown, SUMA represents the interests of its members to help our communities succeed and thrive. One way SUMA helps foster the success of our communities is by developing strategies to tackle the challenges that modern rural communities face, which in turn helps our communities to continue to thrive and to become a driving force that forces all of our communities forward. Like SUMA, SaskTel is deeply entrenched in the history of the province, having made these from our far north, our southern border, and many points in between. This year's convention theme is Building Sustainable Hometowns, which is a fitting vision for our province and one that SaskTel shares and continues to contribute to. As Saskatchewan's leading communication service provider, SaskTel has connected more communities with world-class wireline and wireless technology than any other provider in Saskatchewan, and there's no sign of it slowing down. In less than 2 years, SaskTel has connected over 100 communities to enhanced wireless services with the installation of new small cell sites, as well as dramatically increasing internet speeds in hundreds of communities throughout the province, which have opened the door to economic and educational opportunities that those communities wouldn't have otherwise. So as a government, we understand it's increasingly important for everyone in Saskatchewan to have access to reliable wireless and internet services. In the future, to invest in communities across the province in order to provide technology upgrades and enhancement. We look forward to seeing the many benefits and opportunities. Let me close by saying that SaskTel was pleased to be a $5,000 sponsor for this event, which is, I think, a great thing to do because all of us share the values of our province and the things that SaskTel supports, some of the core business that it has. Enjoy your lunch. Thanks very much for the chance to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to break for lunch, so the QCC staff will be coming by to call tables to lunch, and we're going to attempt to resume in here right at 1 o'clock, as close to that as we possibly can for our SMA awards. They are coming up next. I'm Danny Hooper. I hope you've enjoyed the morning sessions. Enjoy your lunch, bon appetit, and more importantly, enjoy company. Canadian Record Producer of the Year. You should be very proud of him. He worked with Johnner Brothers for many years as their keyboard player. I don't know how many times Bart McKay has been the Canadian Record Producer of the Year, and he has a beautiful studio right in his home that has won the Recording Studio of the Year. He's won Keyboard Player of the Year, very talented musician, but I took about a 15-year hiatus from the music business and just returned last fall, got busy, started doing a bunch of songwriting, and hooked up with Bart. Now, he produces Brett Kissel and Gord Bamford, and I went to him because he's a friend and because I think he's the best in the business. And I wrote a song that we'll start off with here, just to get the energy up a little bit. I hope you enjoy this song. I'm not going to sing it. You'll just listen to it, and it's called I Need a Buck, and I hope you enjoy it. Then we'll get going.
Hunter, been sitting in this blind since change of luck. I need a buck. Well, I'm a badass bull rider, at least I used to be. But lately, those big old bulls have got the best of me. I don't know what's wrong, but I'm doing mighty lame. I do know it's time to get my head back in the game. I need a big old change of luck. I need a buck. Well, I need a buck, or maybe 2 or 3. The trouble is those bucks won't have it. They show some compassion, show some sympathy. I'm praying as hard as I can on bended knees. I need a buck. I need a buck. I'm an Alberta rig hand, at least I used to be. I never saw this coming, now the bank is after me. I'm ready and I'm willing, able and I'm true, but I'm running out of options and I don't know what to do. I need a big old change of luck. I need a buck. I need a buck, or maybe 2 or 3. The trouble is those bucks won't have a thing to do with me. Show some compassion, show some sympathy. I'm praying as hard as I can.
Oh, can on bended knees, I need a buck. Anyway, all right, let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed that. Folks, let's put our hands together, if we will, for SaskTel and thank them very much for that delicious lunch. And now I'd like to invite our friend Lindsay Brumwell from CN. They have a short sponsored presentation here, and Lindsay is Manager of Public Affairs for Saskatchewan. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, please put your hands together, if you will, for Lindsay Brumwell from CN. Lindsay? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. I bring greetings from more than 25,000 CN railroaders to you today. But before I get started, I would like to recognize that we are on Treaty 4 territory in the home of the Métis. I look forward to sharing with you some insights from CN. CN is the backbone to the Canadian economy, transporting more than 250 billion worth of goods annually across our network. These products range from natural resources to manufactured and consumer goods. But here in Saskatchewan, we handle grains and specialty crops, agri-value products like canola oil, forestry products and fertilizer, and break bulk cargoes. Less than 3 years ago, the Forestry Products Distribution Centre in North Battleford underwent a $7 million expansion that we continue to use today. We have also put in cargo flow bulk handling facilities in various communities across the province. CN's network may be 20,000 route miles spanning Canada and mid-America, but in Saskatchewan we operate almost 2,000 route miles connecting Saskatchewan's economy and businesses to markets around the globe. Our more than 1,000 employees in the province live, work, donate, volunteer, and commute in your communities. Even more, CN pensioners have chosen to retire and stay in your communities. This is a testament to the fabric that CN contributes to your societies. Since starting at CN, I've lost track of the number of CN employees and pensioners that have told me about how they volunteer for their local fire departments. This is just another example of how CN's family of employees try to integrate and care for the places that they live and work. At CN, safety is not just a corporate priority, but a core value. It is something we live and breathe every day. In 2019, CN invested a little over $3.9 billion into capital programs across our network, and $1.6 billion of that was for track and railway infrastructure. But that money wasn't just for physical infrastructure. Those investments led to the deployment of a wide range of industry-leading technologies. To the outside eye, it may look like CN still runs and operates the way we did 100 years ago, but we have been strategically investing and deploying new technologies across the network. I'm going to share with you one quick example. We recently piloted a CN autonomous track inspection program, which includes a fully automated rail car that employs wireless communications to test and monitor in real time the geometric track parameters without interrupting normal railroad operations. So this means the car goes inside the regular train and monitors as it continues to move. This rail car is powered by solar panels, travels at regular train speeds, and is deployed 24/7, 365 days using laser sensors and AI technology for monitoring. But what this really enables active to preventative maintenance, which reduces time for manual inspections. Ultimately, this builds a safer rail network and increases CN's capacity and fluidity, which is critical to our businesses and a trading economy. We believe that technology will have a large impact on companies, including CN, and the economy and trade. CN is now moving out of the lab and into real-time technology platforms. I'm not sure if you're aware, but CN celebrated its 100th anniversary large container exhibit at Agrivision right here in Regina that was visited by more than 27,000 people, and almost 2/3 of that were school children. We were very happy to see them learn about our history and our future. But this type of milestone also gives us perspective. Regardless of the current economic situation and changing political landscapes, CN is focused on evolving from a traditional railway to a digital connected railway of the future. We think the future is bright and it's digital. We believe this next generation of intelligent engineering and business systems is laying the foundation to safely usher CN into the next century, and we believe the communities where we live and operate will benefit. But we cannot make this transition without you, the communities where we operate and live. The trains do not just go through your community, but there is a ripple effect of the economic benefits across the province by having a safe, efficient, and robust railway. We look forward to continuing to work with you here on our shared responsibilities to ensure safe and sustainable communities now and into the future. I hope my brief remarks have inspired you to visit our website, cn.ca, to learn more about our safety programs, sustainability efforts, and investments into innovation and new technology. We think there's a path, and we think it's a path together. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Lindsay Brumwell from CN. Thank you very much, Lindsay, and we appreciate your participation in our SUMA conference. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call President Barnhart back up here, and we're going to get the SMA Awards underway at this time. So we're going to have a number of the award winners coming up.
Thank you very much, Danny, and I hope everyone had a good lunch, a rushed lunch, but a good lunch. Thank you so much for being here right after lunch. And I also want to say thank you to CN. That was great for your sponsorship. Thank you. I want to call Minister Carr up to the stage to help me with these awards. The Saskatchewan Municipal Awards Program is a partnership between SUMA, SARM, Government Relations, Rural Municipal Administrators Association, Urban Municipal Administrators Association, and New North. It's with great pleasure that we are presenting this 13th round of the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards. So I want you to follow this procedure because we will first see a video of each winning project and then handing out the trophies. The winning rural municipalities received their awards last November at the SARM Midterm Convention. This year, the selection committee reviewed 17 nominations on behalf of 51 municipalities. And so for the 13th year now, this selection committee was made up of the following people. And if you're here, please rise. I'm not sure that many are here, but I'll call out each name. Jim Scarrow, former mayor of the city of Prince Albert, a former vice president of cities for SUMA. Audrey Tremblay, former president of RMAA. Keith Schneider, former executive director of SUMA. I believe Keith is here. There he is, right there. Oops, sorry. Thank you. Loretta Young, a former administrator for the RM of Long Laketon, number 219, and Village of Earl Grey. Jeff Mulligan, former mayor of Lloydminster, and Dawn Taylor, former SARM board member. We appreciate the time and effort that these 6 individuals have been giving to this committee so that we can celebrate local governments in Saskatchewan. The selection committee would like to commend all of the nominees for their projects. The overwhelming sentiment of the selection committee was that the quality was very high of these submissions, and it was very difficult for them to finally pick the winners. It was noteworthy that the increase in the number of collaborative initiatives that were submitted for consideration this year. We know that local government in Saskatchewan is doing good work, and we're here to celebrate those people that have gone the extra mile. So in the spirit of cooperation and unity, perhaps we should be looking for the winning projects as inspiration for projects in our own community. I know urban municipalities are doing much in their communities and with their neighbors, and I encourage all of you to think carefully and say, how can we nominate someone for next year for a project such as today for the 14th round of the SMA Awards? Now I'd like to recognize the title sponsor for this year's SMA, Affinity Credit Union. We're pleased to have them on board. So please welcome Jacobo Flota, the Advice Center team leader for Affinity Credit Union, to bring us greetings. Jacobo.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacobo Flota. I am thrilled to be here on behalf of Affinity Credit Union. In the spirit of reconciliation, I'd like to begin acknowledging we are on Treaty 4 territory, homeland of the Métis and traditional territory of the Dakota peoples. I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize and celebrate the achievements the rural and urban municipalities and their local governments have accomplished. We have many successes to be proud of this past year and even more to look forward to. As elected officials and municipal employees, each of you shares a passion to improve your community. It takes a dedication mind, but through determination and tireless effort, you are improving the lives of those around you. The work you put in makes it easier for each of us to be proud of our hometowns. The commitment you show is truly commendable, and one of the reasons Affinity is so proud to support this event. We value working with like-minded organizations and individuals who share the vision of building a better world. At Affinity, this is more than just saying, it's a goal that is embedded in our organization and drives our decision-making process. We strive to achieve this supporting genuine community-driven initiatives and partnering with communities, municipalities, and associations to help strengthen the local economy. Saskatchewan is a unique place with so much to offer, whether you're down in Estevan or up in Candle Lake. There is a warmth and friendliness that creates an authentic hometown feel. even for a visitor. This camaraderie is just one of many pieces that contribute to the hometown advantage. And Affinity will not only support a variety of events and local business as an organization, but as individuals are able to volunteer in our communities. It is rewarding to know that together we are making a difference. I would like to wish the best of luck to all the award nominees. You put in great deal of work, so best luck on the awards right now. You have done an amazing job leading your communities to success, and I know you continue to do down that path. These awards are a true indication of Saskatchewan and demonstrates that when we come together, we achieve more. Finally, I want to say thank you to all our Affinity Credit Union members here today. Our members are the reason we are able to support communities across Saskatchewan. We appreciate everything our members do for us. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to say a few words, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thank you very much, and a special thanks to Affinity Credit Union. I'm sure that everyone here appreciates that without these sponsors, we just could not put on a conference, a convention like this. So we say a huge thank you to Affinity Credit Union and to all our sponsors that are here throughout the 3 days. Please, thank you so much. I'm wondering if my eyesight is correct, but I think we have a lifetime member here in the audience that I haven't seen up until now. I think I see Sharon Armstrong, so welcome. Others have been invited, but we're happy to have you here today. Thank you so much. Now we'll get on to the presentation of the awards. What will happen is that I will call the group. There will be so hold your applause. There will be a video shown on screen as the group is coming up, and then we will make the presentation of the award. So the third place winner is Beware of the Grease Beast Drain Pollution Prevention Program for the City of Lloydminster. So it's now my pleasure to invite the winning urban municipality up to the stage to learn about this project. We'll now see the video. Please come forward.
The Grease Beast is a public engagement campaign that we've launched to help reduce drain pollution within Lloydminster.
The Grease Beast is kind of a result of the blockages that occur in the drains when people put down items that don't belong.
The Grease Beast is indeed a beast that was created here at the City of Lloydminster by our team to help people understand the challenges that go on with wastewater.
The Grease Beast is a 9-foot tall, approximately 500-pound representation of all the harmful, disgusting, unwanted things that make their way into the Lloydminster wastewater system.
It's a monster that helps the community make sure they don't put all that bad stuff down the drain.
What you see on the Grease Beast are things that we still receive today. The things that I've seen come in the wastewater stream, we've gathered up and we've made a beast out of it.
When you put something down your drain, you're essentially feeding the beast.
We are in the processes of designing and heading towards build of a new wastewater treatment plant. So that helped elevate the entire conversation about wastewater.
So we're building a multi-million-dollar facility here, and just to let the public know that what they put down the drain does affect this new plant.
The Grease Beast has been a collaborative project right from the beginning, both internally with departments and externally with organizations. It was actually a fairly small team who did the actual creation of the Grease Beast. It was 2 individuals who put it together, builded the structure, and welded it, and then a group of local artists, which was only 3 of them, who came together to develop it as the Grease Beast we see today. We've partnered with the Collective Art Market, who was responsible for designing and bringing our ideas to life. We also worked with local design companies to create the digital side of it.
The character of the Grease Beast is essentially a cartoon, and so we wanted it to be scary, but we didn't want it to be too scary that kids wouldn't want to take pictures and that sort of thing, and that they'd be interested in to run around and see him. We decided instead of releasing the Grease Beast with a bunch of education materials, instead we would use guerrilla style marketing. We would just put him out in the community, not really say much about him, and let people kind of talk about it, create some community buzz.
As time went on, people kind of got used to seeing the Grease Beast around town, in parades, in the fair.
We've had my staff out in 5 different community events. We've had the Beast out in 2 different parades.
Sometimes I see it by City Hall and other places.
We put the Beast out into the community, moved him around town a few times, let the chatter begin on social media.
So on Facebook, for example, they kind of did our work for us essentially. They would comment on our Facebook groups or other groups, where's the Grease Beast, or how can I find him?
A week or 2 later, the team started rolling out information online. We had some stuff in local newspapers and radio. By engaging the kids, we're creating that self-education within our local households. Mom and dad are hearing the message the kids are bringing home. They're feeling a sense of responsibility to be better about what they're putting down their drains and toilets.
Myself, my marketing team, and my staff put a lot of time to this, and even us being very passionate within our jobs, to hear that we're being recognized for award was phenomenal, because now it's just not our city seeing it, it's other people within the province of Saskatchewan seeing this too.
It's a great honor for our city team. We work hard as a team to ensure that we bring the best value to the community.
Creating a 9-foot monster essentially really did pay off in the long run, and I think it's something that we're going to look back on and be proud of.
The Grease Beast reminds me not to put all junk and garbage inside our drains.
Congratulations, City of Lloydminster.
Ladies and gentlemen from Lloydminster, the 2 guys who are on the video.
Just a note, once again, congratulations, City of Lloydminster. And just a note for those that are coming up on stage for photos, we'll just ask you to take your name tag off. You're within the secure zone now, so you're okay, but it reflects on the picture, so we ask that you do that. The second place winner is Emergency Medical Service Support from the town of Radville and the RMs of Laurier, The Gap, Lake Alma, Souris Valley, Surprise Valley, and Lamond. And so I invite the town of Radville to come up on stage. Let's hear their story.
In June of 2014, we moved into a new facility at a new location, which provides long-term care. There's an emergency department. There's a medical clinic.
When the facility was built, they put in what they thought was going to be some rooms for the EMS, and there's no privacy, there's no doors or anything like that.
Beautiful building, but there was actually only accommodations for really one person because there was one room in there.
Before we had them up in hotels or lounges, which aren't the best places for a person to stay.
Recognizing there was times that we would have 2 possibly male and female attendants that were on call, only having one facility, one room was less than ideal.
Local EMS were having some trouble with attracting members.
This is a rural community. How do you get people who live 20 miles away to leave their home and their family for a weekend and be on call to provide service to the whole community, and yet no place to stay.
Problem was looked at by Arvid Fettis, and with the help of Leanna Wolling, they brought the RMs of the towns in the area together.
My wife and I practiced law here together. We had the building as our practice.
We were approached by Rod McDonald, and he had this building that he had worked his entire career out of, and he had retired, and it was sitting there, so he wanted to donate it to be used for something such as this.
I had conversations with the town and the RM and the rodeo committee.
With the donation of the law office and the involvement, the support from the town of Radville, the arm of Laurier, we were able to flip it into a very nice home away from home setting.
Through volunteer action and a few dollars from the foundation, we were able to fix up the building so that we have the 3 bedrooms, the kitchen, and the front room for the EMTs. We offer Wi-Fi as well, helps them with their off time, and I think they enjoy it.
The Radville Marion Health Center provide free meals as well to EMS staff that are on call.
When we formed this committee with the town of Radville, we had determined that we would split the costs of the facility.
The rodeo committee also participated by agreeing up front to donate a substantial amount of the proceeds of the rodeo each year to support, to renovate the ongoing structure.
The building is looked after by the coordinator. She sort of oversees it, but the town of Radville and the RM Laurier have counselors that are appointed to that committee that oversee that.
There are people in town that do volunteer their help. They've been very generous with their time.
We've put out the call for the community to rally around the EMS so that we can have it here in our small town. And Leanna, Arvin, they've done an amazing job of getting people to staff it completely.
The community and surrounding together, and what we have today is a true example of, solid heart. I mean, it's all heart in small town.
This is a collaborative effort by all of the municipal governments, people who are on the rodeo committee.
There's not one person in this community that hasn't been touched by the ambulance or the health care facility here in Radville.
Special thank you to the arm of Laurier, the town of Radville, and all the surrounding municipalities that have supported this endeavor. I truly believe that we would not have an ambulance service if it was not for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, just that one guy.
Once again, congratulations to Radville. And as I mentioned earlier, the reason that there aren't others with the town of Radville is because they were RMs and they've received their award recognition at the SARM convention last fall. But what an example this is of showing municipalities, urban and rural, working together to improve the EMS services. And I think that stands as an example for all our communities and how we could work together to provide not only EMS but services to our citizens all across this province. It's now my pleasure to introduce the first place winner for the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards, and that is Saki Cha Wei Sik Relationship Agreement. It's the City of North Battleford, the Town of Battleford, Moosomin, Sweetgrass, Soto, and Little Pine First Nations, and Lucky Man Cree Nation. Would the winners please come forward, and we will now look at their story.
Battlefords, and that's the city, the town, and the surrounding area, been riven with problems, a lot of socio-economic problems.
The label that North Battleford has right now, like, probably negatively impacted some businesses, probably negatively impacted the tourism.
All of the issues that we face as a community are related to a number of root causes, especially poverty, food security, addictions, mental illness, and then, of course, the drug trade and organized criminal activity as well.
You got to mention the elephants in the room, and you know, like, and racism. Nobody wants to say it, but it exists, and we need to address it head on.
We all were looking for an answer or a solution, and I think we all realized quickly that we can't do it ourselves.
Prior to the agreement, there wasn't much of a discussion between really the First Nations and the Battlefords.
The Saskatchewan Relationship Agreement is really an intentional approach to be able to resolve problems.
The city actually had spearheaded it as a way to find common ground.
It's the Saskatchewan Agreement. It involves the surrounding First Nations and the town of Battleford and the city of North Battleford.
Saskatchewan is the meeting of the two rivers, the Battle River and North Saskatchewan.
The agreement was signed June 21st. It was a National Aboriginal Day. It was signed at the Battle River Treaty 6 Health Center.
It was really encouraging and inspiring to be able to see 5 chiefs and 2 mayors sitting up there and signing the agreement.
The agreement just brings us together just to talk about every topic, really, and then we work on a priority list.
When we had hosted that first meeting, I was informed that that was the first time that the chiefs and the Indigenous governments within the area were invited to meet with the mayor of North Battleford, and that actually shocked me.
We needed to be honest, and we needed to have open discussions to really come together and figure out what we wanted with this agreement, what we wanted to do.
I think we were all filled with hope because it had come from such humble beginnings to get to a point where the elected leadership within this region was actually signing publicly in front of hundreds of people commitment to work together.
It's a big thing here just to be able to, for the Indigenous and municipal governments to sit down at the same table and talk. And here we're actually sitting down intentionally to be able to address issues.
Not just within Saskatchewan, we want to be an example within Canada about how to develop Indigenous municipal relationships well and how to address issues collectively.
There's some great leaders sitting at this table, and every time I'm with this group, I learn something more to make me a better leader.
By working together, it's going to impact everybody. And it's going to impact business, and it's going to impact the economy.
We want action, but we also want people living within this region to know that that is happening, to know that there's a plan being developed, to know that their leaders are coming together with a greater vision for the area.
There was one person who spoke to me about it and said, you know, it's kind of about time. You know, and maybe that can sum this up. It's about time that this happened.
We need each other, and we got to work together. We're not going anywhere. The city, towns, they're not going anywhere. So you know what? Let's work together. Let's really make a positive change for the future generations.
Well done. Congratulations.
And we'll invite our recipients up to receive the award. Thank you, gentlemen.
Another example of people working together. Another round of applause for these people, please. Our final award is the Regional Cooperation Award, and this year it's being awarded to Regional Asset Management and Group Learning by a collective of 15 municipalities. The winning urban municipalities are the towns of Central Butte, Dundurn, Hanley, Craik, the resort village of Mistassine, and the village of Broderick, Conquest, Elbow, Glenside, Kenniston, Lorburn, Strongfield, and Beachy. Would these people and representatives please come forward? They're representing the RMs of the RM of Lorburn and Fertile Valley. We will now learn more from the video, and if they would please come to the stage. Thank you.
Municipalities right across the country are facing what we'll call an infrastructure crisis, especially in small municipalities.
I think the biggest thing that we face as a small community is definitely finances.
But the sad thing about the infrastructure is we don't even really know what we have.
Councillors, they're just people that come on and they're trusting their administrators to know what's going on. But maybe the administrators don't know all the pipes in the ground.
When the government came out with making this mandatory that you were going to have to do asset management, you begin to look at consultant services to see how much they will cost or how much time this is going to take.
For communities to access professional consultation in this regard on a standalone basis isn't something that would have been available to most of our members.
On June 11th of 2010, the Waterwolf Planning Commission was formalized.
The large percentage of the municipalities that belong to Waterwolf are located in the Lake Diefenbaker region.
Waterwolf is actually, it's a fish in Lake Diefenbaker.
Approaching a consultant as a group gave better buying power for all of the municipalities that participated.
One benefit to our RM has been having a contract planner on hand. We have things going on in our RM that I didn't take the education for, and by having a contract planner I can just call has been great.
We were able to develop our plans, our strategies, our recognized risk levels.
The access to development appeals boards and board of revision and a community planner, a bylaw enforcement officer, all of these things that as a small municipality we can't afford to hire somebody to fill those roles, but when we participate with another 32 municipalities that have common interests, those kind of things are then affordable.
Waterwolf hired Urban Systems out of Saskatoon, and they were in communication with FCM.
They became very interested in the project, the group, and they asked some administrators if they'd be able to go to Ottawa. It was amazing to see how the bigger centers were interested. They're coming from a town of 100 and they have 1 million people and they want to listen to what you're saying.
Somebody needs to lead the way in bringing these communities together, and I think that's the Wolf Board.
People are talking to each other and they're, considering working together where they would never have considered that before.
We were able to share information amongst ourselves, like Elbow had recently done a paving project, so we had up-to-date information on that.
Because now we talk to each other regularly, which we didn't all do before. Some of us have worked together on emergency planning.
The town of Hanley had done some water infrastructure work, and so we were able to share all that information.
Small municipalities also have a small workforce, so it was nice that we were able to work collaboratively with our neighbors and share our ideas in a group learning environment.
Working together, we've been able to develop a better relationship.
Projects are likely going to happen that would have never happened before.
We're all better, stronger, and more knowledgeable working as a group.
Congratulations. I've been corrected. It's Miss Stossany. My apologies. Water Wolf is an amazing organization, and I've become aware of it in the last couple of years as SUMA president. And in the fall, Jean-Marc and I went to Strongfield, Saskatchewan. How many people here know where Strongfield is? Yes, you do. There's 47 people in the village. It's an amazing community, thriving, doing well. And this is where they held a board meeting for Water Wolf, and we very much appreciated participating with them on that. So once again, congratulations and applause to this group as well, please. It's interesting and it's interesting to see these innovations and these different projects all across this province. And this is a great way to celebrate these initiatives with the municipalities. And I would like to congratulate everyone who submitted a nomination this year. And even if you weren't selected, good for you that you have a project that was worth nomination. And we encourage you to keep doing. You can visit the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards website at municipalawards.ca. So to learn more about the program, to get more details about the winning projects, please look at that website. I also suggest that for all of you to start preparing nominations for next year. I'm sure that right now this has prompted you to think of some good things that are happening in your community, and we look forward to seeing your nominations for next year. We are now going to celebrate some individual awards. The individuals are about to receive, they have invested time and effort to further their education in municipal governance. And making up the SUMA member municipalities, they're making them better. And it's my pleasure to present these certificates to those who have completed the Municipal Leadership Development Program, also known as MLDP. MLDP is the only program developed exclusively for elected and appointed municipal leaders in Saskatchewan, and it's a partnership of SUMA, SARM, New North, UMass, RMAA, and the Ministry of Government Relations. Mayors, councillors, and staff benefit from this innovative program, and it's designed to strengthen local government leadership. Structured around 6 key workshops, each module targets specific issues that are important to local governments. Participants receive a certificate of completion after they have finished their program. This year, we're pleased to recognize, and I'm going to lead out the names, and then Danny will call them out one at a time as we make the presentation. But I ask you to start to come towards the stage if you wouldn't mind. But the ones that will receive a certificate of completion this year are Krista Ann Willems, Michael Morrow, Jackie Griffiths, Ron Campbell, Don Ewan, Douglas Armbruster, Jerry Whitting, Gary Philipchuk, Doug Lang, Gerald Albers, Melanie Clark, and Jonathan Torresan. Would you please come forward to receive your awards as Danny reads them out?
All right, and each recipient will be asked to stand beside the president to have your photo taken one at a time. And as our recipients make their way to the stage, I will start by calling Krista Ann Willems forward, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Krista Ann Willems. And folks, once again, if you can take off your name badges, if you haven't done so already, like Krista Ann Willems. I don't know if she should get the award. I say try again next year. All right. There we go. Our next recipient is Michael Morrow. Michael Morrow. Michael's wearing burgundy and a nice dark navy blue. Jackie Griffiths is joining us now, also wearing burgundy. Hi, Jackie. How are you? I'm good. Good. Good to see you again. We were chatting last night. Very good. And now we welcome Ron Campbell to receive his award. Ron? How you doing, Ron? Good. The open short sleeve look with a white t-shirt underneath, always in style, even in February. You never know when a holiday might break out. Take care. Don Ewan is coming up next. All right. Don Ewan. Ron Campbell wannabe, fashion-wise. Got the just rolled those sleeves up, didn't completely commit. And now Douglas Armbruster. Douglas Armbruster. Wow. All right. How are you, Doug? Real good, real good. I want to wrestle him tonight. But you don't start wrestling until I say go and you stop as soon as I say uncle. All right, Douglas Armbruster. Thank you, Doug. Good job, buddy. Next we call Jerry Whitting forward. Jerry Whitting. All right. That's good. Didn't get too close to the stage. What? You thought there was a mistake? Are you serious? You got low self-esteem, buddy. You got to read Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins. All right. Here we go. Jerry Whitting. Thanks, bud. Congratulations. Don't forget your name tag. Gary Philipchuk comes up next. Here's Gary. How you doing, Gary? I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm just going to leave that. Okay. All right. Congratulations, Gary. And now we call Doug Lang. Doug Lang, if you'll come up. I'm just going to throttle back here a little. I don't want to get my ass kicked. Okay. Because I just found there's a lot of them. Yeah. Mayor Gerald Albers, Lloydminster. Gerald's a great guy. And our next recipient is Melanie Clark. Melanie. Guess what's coming up after this? Prizes. Prize giveaways. Congratulations, Melanie Clark. There's nothing on those awards, is there? Oh, I see. Okay, that's just the cover we're taking pictures of. Okay, all right. Just saying. Are they going to have comment cards after this? All right, next, Jonathan Torreson. Jonathan, come on up. There we go. Very excited. Look at that. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, do you want one? Oh, yeah. See, I'm just kind of, it's just an idea I had. I haven't done a lot of awards things, but enough to know. Okay. I thought it was just a Saskatchewan thing, so I thought maybe I shouldn't say anything. All right. President?
Well, thank you very much, Danny, for reading those scripts and having this official ceremony in a very serious manner. Now the time that you've all been waiting for, the AGM. So here we go. I want to tell you that I'm very pleased to be chairing the annual general meeting as SUMA president, and it's been my pleasure to serve all of you over this last year and to work with the elected board of directors. And it's been a busy and an exciting year, and I'm excited to share with you a lot of information that's been happening and will be into the future. Danny says we have to have a prize draw. I didn't have that in mind, but if you have a prize, let's do it.
Should we do the prizes real quick before the AGM?
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, the only reason being, President, because we have some people sitting on the edges of their seats right now trying to win one of these prizes. So I'll move through these very, very quickly, and then we'll get on with the AGM. Our prize is sponsored by BCL, ladies and gentlemen. Lawrence couldn't be with us. Lawrence Lukey, unfortunately, couldn't be with us this afternoon to bring greetings, but they sent greetings. He said they're proud to be a SUMA Advantage partner and have been part of the SUMA convention now for 40 years. Thanks for attending the 2020 convention. Let's give a joint round of applause to BCL for sponsoring our prizes. President Barnhart, can we get you to draw the prizes if you would be so kind, sir? And boy, we have a lot of entries here tonight, or this afternoon. So, our first prize is an HP laptop and Beats Solo 3 wireless headphones. Didn't we give this away yesterday, I thought? So obviously they couldn't get it to work. And that's all right. Maybe Natalie Miller will have better luck from the town of Carlisle. Natalie, come on up and get your brand new HP laptop and Beats Solo wireless headphones. All right, there's Natalie. I'm sorry, you're pointing at what? Oh, she wants to win. It doesn't work that way. You can't just say, pick me, pick me. You can do that tonight in the auction. That could win you something. All right, Natalie, congratulations. All right. My gosh, you'd think she won a brand new truck. Look how excited she is. Okay. Now, the Digi Osmo Pocket the Pocket Camera. We talked about that yesterday. It was funny yesterday. It's still funny today. And the Fitbit Versa smartwatch. Okay, let's see who wins this. And the winner, President, is Donna Smith from the town of Outlook. Beautiful Outlook, Saskatchewan. Donna Smith. We'll move on right away to our iRobot Roomba, our Ring Video Doorbell 2, and our Google Nest Hub and Nest Mini. These are very similar to yesterday's prizes. Brandon Doyle of Kennedy. There's our recipient there. Donna, hi, how are you? Are you enjoying the conference? Are you? Good. Congratulations. You've got some great prizes there. And Brandon Doyle. Brandon, there's Brandon. How are you, buddy? Good, good. And you win the iRobot Roomba. You enjoy vacuuming? When's the last time you even saw one? Okay. I'm just saying. Finally, a MacBook Air, ladies and gentlemen. A MacBook Air, and the winner of the MacBook Air is Randy Quinton from Wolseley. Randy. There's Randy right there. There we go. Kitty, I'll give you all of the winners. President Barnhart just drew my name out, but he says we're out of prizes. Okay. After the prize giveaway, take delegates into a break sponsored by ACOM. I don't think we're having a break. I think we're trying. No, we sailed right through break time. We're going to have a break tomorrow. You know when we're going to have a break? When you get home. Okay. We're just going to keep going right now, and we're going to turn things back over to what's that? Oh, we are having a break. Good. Okay. So now things are just. Hey, everybody calm down. We're not at 30,000 feet, all right? Right? You're panicking. Don't panic till I panic. We are going to take a short break. When would you like the folks back, Katie? It's 2 o'clock now. 2 minutes to 2. 5 minutes, please. I know. It's not even enough time to go to the washroom. But you should have gone this morning at the hotel. Okay. Note to self for tomorrow. Take a short break, 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Just give us a chance to regroup up here. All right, then we'll reconvene. Thank you.